Hello and welcome to the German Spearfishing channel. In this video I want to talk about professional spearfishing equipment like this. So catch on, guys. So I want to explain which equipment I use, such as spear guns, filming equipment, traveling equipment, neoprene, fins, how to dive in cold and warm water, and stuff like store spear guns and maintenance. So if you're interested, keep on. If you want to see more about a basic equipment, I post a link below about a video I already did about equipment you need when you start spearfishing. This is more like advanced stuff. So let's start. Okay, let's come to the first and most important point: spear guns and pole spears. So I got 4 spear guns, a couple of additional arrows, and 1 pole spear. So which I'm gonna use where? I use the pole spear if I fish in a country where spear guns aren't allowed. Some like American islands are just pole spears allowed and no spear guns. I use my small immersion 55 centimeter spear gun when I want to fish like in muddy water, or I want to fish in caves, so you need a short one. This is my Omer XXV Gold carbon gun. This was my second gun. I use this one when the water is like murky and you can see like 3 meters. That is the perfect length. And it's also an all-rounder because you can fly with it easy because it's not that long. It is pretty not that heavy, and it's the perfect all-round length, 75 centimeter. This is my first, no, it's my third, but it's my best teak gun I've ever built. It got 2 rubbers, and it's also like an all-round gun, but it's much more powerful because it uses 2 rubbers instead of 1, and the length is like 90 centimeter. You even can fly with it, and it's a good gun. This is my favorite gun when I want to go like to the Mediterranean Sea. It got a reel. You want to shoot very far because the visibility is very good, and so this is my all-round clear visibility gun. And at the last, my newest one, this is like 120 centimeter. This is my elephant killer. It uses a much more stable shaft. This is, I think, 7 millimeters. It got a big reel with 60 meter of string capacity. With this gun you're able to shoot like a tuna, or I've built that one to go spearfishing in Norway, where you have like big fish like halibut, big cod, where you need like strong material. It's all made of metal, laminated together. It's a really nice gun, but it is not all-round because you can't fly with it. It's too long. You have to do it with sports baggage. These 3 I can transport without sports baggage. I explain how to do it later. So, and I've got 3 additional arrows. I never use them because I reband the arrows if they are banded, but it is good to have some in store. When you lose an arrow in the holiday and you weren't able to get a new one, you will need this. So when I go to holiday, I choose one of my spear guns, get an additional arrow, and that's it. For filming, for my videos, I use my iPhone 6s, works perfectly, good quality. And for filming in the water, I use my GoPro Hero 4. Because I like the quality. The quality is great. With quick capture, it works perfectly. You just push the button and the camera starts filming, so you're storing a lot of energy in the battery. with this battery I film like a trip for 4 days, no problem. I've got several cases, like this is an open one to film videos, and I've got diving cases to go diving there, solid up to 30-50 meters. I won't reach this deep, so it's perfect. Also I use some additional chips. I've got here I got 64 gigabytes and some additional 30 and 16, so I don't have to delete the footage inside my holidays, and I can sort them later. Also I've got this this pack from Amazon. It's really cheap, with like different attachments to the GoPro and buoy to dive with it. It's pretty handy, everything's fit in there and you're ready to go. Yeah. Let's come to the travel part. Every time when you want to go spearfishing here in Germany, you're not allowed. So what's the option? Drive by car, so it's no problem, you store all the stuff in the car. Or when I go spearfishing like in holidays, Greece, Italy, Spain, whatever, I use this so-called pencil bag. This is from the Golf Sport, and in there up to 3 spear guns fits perfectly. And what I do, I just take the pencil bag and with some straps I put it on my usual bag that I use. So when you go to the counter, it is inside the length that you can use to transport normal baggage. So you just have to stay inside the 23, 22, depends on the airline, kilogram. And then they say, okay, it's a little bit long, go to the heavy baggage, bulky luggage counter, and there you go to the airplane with the baggage. No problem, you don't have to pay more. It's the best tip I ever worked out in my life, and it works perfectly. I never had any problems at the end. The baggage just came with the normal band out of the airplane. Perfect. And if I want to go with all my stuff to the beach, I use this Cressi Gara drive bag. It got a fin holder in here, some gun holders in here, and it is completely waterproof. I can say that. And what I have to say, it's pretty cheap. I mean, what is it? 45 up to 50 euro, up to $40, $50. That's not expensive for a good work bag that's waterproof. So I love this bag. I put everything in there. It got 50 liters. Everything is fitting in there, and it's great. So you just put all your stuff in there, put it in the car, and from the car you walk with the bag into the water and done. So these are some Lucky Charms, some coins from Norway with a hole inside. It's great to like hang it in the shower, that it stays open, that all the water that is collecting can evaporate out. Okay, let's come to the equipment I frequently use when I go spearfishing. I separated them a little bit into basic equipment, equipment for warm water, and equipment for cold water. So let's start with the basic equipment. Every time you go into the water, you should use soap. Soap and a simple bottle. I fill the soap into the bottle, put some warm water on it, and put it in the wetsuit or even in the shoes and the gloves, and you will be able to put it on that much easier, you won't believe. Best thing, soap and an easy bottle of water. So, additional, when I go to the water, I got 2 watches. This is a normal automatic watch from Citizen. It is just waterproof, but it's waterproof up to 500 meters, I think. It is used by the Italian Navy. This is what I use like for every day. And I've got this Chris Benz depth meter, CS00. It can track the water temperature, it can track the depth, it can track the average depth, and it's a great watch because you can wear it every day as well. I like it. I like heavy metal watches up to, let me see, 200 meters waterproof, and it is great. It has an alarm when you dive up too fast, but it is made mainly for scuba divers, but you can use it for apnoe diving as well. Great watch, and a special feature that is perfect. When you open it, you're able to pull out a little bit more of the arm handle, so it will fit over the neoprene. Great watch. So next point, what I use frequently, my Umbro shoes. I found this in Norway on the beach. I love them. I use them inside my neoprene shoes to walk to the beach, because sometimes the stones on the way to the water pinch through the neoprene shoes. So what are good also are clogs, these typical ugly clogs, but they work perfectly for spearfishing. So next point, the mask. I've tried several masks, and in my opinion, Cressy worked the best. So what you have to look for, you need a mask with dark silicone, so the sunlight won't irritate your eye when you're diving. You will see much more fish with dark silicone. You need a mask with a smaller inner volume, so not a big scuba mask, because it will pressure on your face when you're going down. So, and the feature I've looked for so long, and this Cressy mask has them all. It got a GoPro attachment that works really good. And also when you want to look for a mask, please watch out for a mask with glass, not plastic. It's called tempered glass, because it is so much better in direction of anti-fog, not fogging. So great mask, I can recommend this. Next time, the snorkel. You won't be able to buy the snorkel. I've built it by myself, because normally free divers and apnoe divers and spearfishers don't use snorkel with piston inside, but I like it, so I chose a piston with a small diameter, so it won't break the laminar flow when you're diving down. And be careful that the snorkel is bendable, everything, and a little bit camouflage, just looks good, no effect on fish in my opinion. Next part, what you want to use for both, such as warm and cold spearfishing, a fish stringer. I want to thank my friend Lothar Blankwalker, who made this epic piece of steel. It's really good. It's worked so nice, so accurate, and with this small knob on side, you will be able to don't pinch yourself and put it around your belly or on the buoy. Perfect thing. Thank you. I've done a video about how to build a fish stringer on my channel. I will post it in the links below as well. So, what else? Let's talk about the buoy. In so many countries you have to use a buoy, and please, even if you're in a land where you are not to you not have to do it, use one, because it's for your own safety. It indicates a boat that is driving around, there's a diver below. For that reason it got this alpha flag. There's two types of alpha flags in different countries. you have to use different types of alpha flags. This one is the red one, there's also a blue one. But every boat driver with a license on the world will recognize this flag and be careful when driving above you. And what is nice also, you can just attach the stringer under your buoy with a big carabiner, so you just take the fish that you have shot with you. Okay. From the buoy you go with your float line to even the spear gun or an anchor way. This anchor way is a typical spearfishing anchor way. You can attach it to the float line. It's like 1 kilogram and you're able to put it on the lead belt. But normally I put this on the spear gun. So this is a line winder I just recently bought. Really beautiful. It puts together the string so much better and perfect when you want to go spearfishing like in 3 meters. You don't need 20 meters of string, it's just dangerous. So you just reduce it and it has like no drag in the water. It's perfect. It's swimming by itself and it indicates the diver as well. I've got 20 meters of string capacity on this self-built float line. Just type in YouTube float line, do it yourself. You will find my video with this picture and perfectly. When I go in 3 meters, 3 meters depth, I do the string length about 6 meter, and when I go in 20 meter, I do the full length. Okay, last but not least, for the general equipment, I use this Omer mini laser knife. It's designed for spearfishing. You put it on the arm. There are 2 different sizes. This is the mini laser and you have the larger one, which is for the leg. I love this knife. You just have to watch for like a sharp point, because you have to like someday pinch the backbone of the fish, and always watch out that you can cut like string with it. This is your life insurance. Don't ever go in the water without a diver knife, because when you're tangling up like in your float line, I don't know, in your stringer or even in fishing lines or a net that is on the ground, don't forget this, and you're able to kill fish with it. What's the reason? Second reason, we use knives on the water. Okay, next point, cold and warm water diving. When I talk about cold water diving, I talk about temperatures up to 15 degrees. When I talk about warm water diving, I talk about temperatures from 15 to 22 degrees. And really warm water diving, you won't need a neoprene, just for your own safety, like for jellyfish or scratches. This is really warm water. It's above 22, 23 degrees. So what I use for 22 to 23 degrees upwards, just a normal Lycra shirt from Mars. Great. It protects you from the sun, it protects you from jellyfish, it makes you much looking cooler. Great stuff. It don't smells like neoprene, and perfect. I would ever choose a dark color because it is soaks up the sun and gives you a little bit more extra heat and a little bit more extra time in the water. So when I use this Lycra shirt, I use 2 kilograms of lead, 1, 2, with a lead belt with a quick buckle release. That's so important when you're tangling inside the water down there and you won't be able to open your belt. You're gonna die permanently. You're gonna die. So please don't buy diving belts with lead on side without a quick buckle release. You can see You just have to open it and the lead falls off perfectly. 2 kilogram when you dive without a neoprene, say this neoprene. What I use even in, like I would use in 40 degrees water, shoes, because it's easier to walk to the water. They fit perfectly in my fins, and they're, I don't know, 3 millimeters, and just use shoes. Perfect. Don't go barefoot. Okay, next point when spearfishing, gloves. Gloves are so fucking important, because when you want to cock the gun and the gun somehow just the rubbers retract, they can cut off your finger. I've done it one time. I don't know why, but the Speargun shoot by itself and cut it on my finger. It was bleeding underwater. And second point, it happens that you shoot fish that is venomous. Gloves, no point. And it happens every single fish has like spikes on the fins, on the back fin, on the other fins, and often when you pinch them, they have bacteria and so on there, and you will get a serious infection. I've bitten by a Murray eel through a 3 millimeter glove, and it bleeded, and my hand looked like a chicken wing later. Use gloves. And I use 5 millimeters gloves because I use them in cold and warm water, and I use them with a zipper on the side because it's much easier to put it on and off. These are made by Aqualung, called Thermocline. Okay, let's come to colder water diving. Colder water, 15 to 20 degrees. I use this Bichat in French, really good factory. Bichat Mundial Camo neoprene wetsuit. 4 millimeters. It's a good thickness. So always try to get a spearfishing neoprene wetsuit with a pad on side here, because it protects yourself from the spear gun, and some applications on the arm and on the leg. This protects the suit from gut scratches and so on. So 4 millimeters good for 15 degrees. I used this 6 kilogram lead belt with a quick release as well, and I've got 2 because I hate it every time when I go warm water, cold water, warm water, cold water. You have to change the weight. So I've bought like 2 belts for 20 euros and done with this fucking thing. So this is my new one, my new loved neoprene wetsuit. It's a Cressy one, also a really good factory from Italy. It's a really traditional factory. They have heaps amount of knowledge in producing spearfishing equipment. Thank you to my friend Andy. He gifted me this wetsuit. Thank you, Andy, because he bought a new one. And when he bought a new one, he bought a tailor-made one that is fitting even better than the normal factory one. So here as well, they have a pad here, they have a pad there, they have pads on the arms, but it's a little bit thicker. When you go, you can go up to 5 degrees with 5.5 or 5 millimeter thickness. Perfect. You can stay up to 2 hours in the water without any trouble. When you want to go in the water that's even colder than 5 degrees, I would take 7 millimeters. Okay, Next point, when you go diving in cold water, that's the best tip ever. And gas stove, an ordinary water, what is it? To heat up water. You heat up the water right before you go into the water. Fill your bottle with half with soap water, cold soap water, and then you put in the water into the soapy water bottle, mix it up together. That's on a temperature that won't burn your skin. Then you put it in your wetsuit, go in the wetsuit. Mwah. You will stay in the water like for 1 hour additional. When you go into the water, just sip some additional water all over here inside your trousers, inside your shoes, perfectly. So, and it's portable with gas. Even when you go to warmer, colder water, like I said, 5 degrees plus, I use thicker 5 millimeters shoes because they isolate better than the normal ones. Okay, let's talk about the fins. These are free diving spearfishing fins, apnoe diving. They are much longer than normal fins, and they give you much more power to go down. But with these long fins, it's much harder to go on the surface. So when you want to go snorkeling, don't choose long ones, choose short ones, because it's much easier to go on the surface. And when you want to go deep, you need long ones. These are so-called thermoplast. This is a kind of plastic. They're also made of carbon. My next fins will be carbon, but you don't have to. I have these fins for, I don't know, 10 years. They work and work and work and work. It just costs up to 90 euros. Carbon would start at 300 euros. Great ones, and I choose them because you can detach the fins over here. Just make the fin out of the pocket, and so you will be able to transport it in a normal baggage. So I go with a normal baggage as usual. When I go traveling with my car, I always take this plastic box with me. I bored some little holes in here everywhere, so I just put all the stuff when I go out of the water inside the box, put it in my car, and if the car heats up with the time in the sun, all my stuff is clear afterwards, and it won't schimmeln. Okay. So when you want to dry your equipment after you dived, I always had the problem that when you just put it like in the shower somewhere else, it just smelled horrible because they always like this and the water won't evaporate. So for that reason, I've built this rack just with ordinary pipes where I drilled some hole inside. So you just put the stuff on here, the gloves on here, and everything will be dry in like 2 days. Great stuff. So let's talk a little bit about maintenance. When I go to holiday, I often always have this box with me. This is some basic spearfishing repairment stuff like sandpaper, nylon, additional rubbers when you lose a rubber somehow, lighter, strings, forceps. It just saved my life some days. So I got like a box of these for each of one of my spear guns, but in this box everything you need to repair a spear gun fits in there. Okay, more maintenance. This Cressy neoprene glue, it is so awesome to repair your spear as your neoprene wetsuit, and it looks like new afterwards. I will do a tutorial soon how to do it. To fillet, and I use this carbide sharpener to sharpen the filleting knife. That's the best sharpener I've ever had and makes it razor sharp. So every time when you go spearfishing, you take a centimeter measure to measure your fish. Don't get caught with too small fish. This happens when you don't, when you shoot it and when you don't measure it. Always take these. A weigh, I use this weigh. I measure every fish in the length and in the weigh. This is a traveling weigh. Perfect when you go traveling. You want to weigh your equipment if you're over the regulations from the airline, your baggage. Perfect. Okay. Some garbage bags to store the fish when you come out of the water. Good thing. So this is my logbook. I log every fish that I've shot, informations about the spot, some specific stuff about spearfishing, receipts, how to fillet, and so on. This is the most expensive from all over my equipment, in my opinion. So, 2 additional books. One book about species, plants, and other animals in the Mediterranean Sea, and one book about the Atlantic, the North, and the Baltic Sea. Great to distinguish what you have caught. Okay guys, this is it. All my spearfishing equipment explained in detail with love. If you have any further questions, just post them in the comments below. I will answer for sure. If you have any questions to the equipment, just write them down there. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, follow up my channel, ring the bell, subscribe for more good spearfishing videos, spearfishing trips, tutorials and equipment guides, and recipes of cooking fish. Thank you and goodbye guys. Enjoy the outro.